After completing your cut list, it's time to start your worksheet that will help you figure out how many sheets of plywood that you need. In order to set that up, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go down to the bottom of our sheet and we're going to click the plus sign. Once we've clicked the plus sign, that will add a sheet for us. We can also move it in order. And I'm going to rename this 1/4 plywood because I'm going to use both 1/4 and 3/4 in my design. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight a 12 by 12 section so I can make a 1 foot square, 1 foot by 1 foot. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So out to L12 is what I'm going to highlight. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these in just a little bit. And you'll notice that when I bring this in, look at it as the L column. So I'm going to try to make the L column square. Actually, I believe if I highlight all the columns, and now I do it, should be able to make them all smaller to the point where I can get it down that it's a fairly small square. The other thing I'm going to do is highlight rows through 12 and bump these up a little as well so they are as small as possible. Now what these are going to be is this is going to become, again, it's going to be a 1 foot cube, 1 by 1, which is this L to L12 right here. So I'm going to come to my borders. When I click my borders, I'm going to pick outside borders. So it should put a dark black border around the outside. I'm then going to choose a medium gray and put the inside borders on. I know that my outside border didn't stay, so I'm going to highlight that again and go to the borders, pick outside, and pick black. So now I have that black outside border. I'm going to do two things. Now highlight those again. Control C is copy on my keyboard. I'm now going to highlight my columns here, and I'm going to say insert 12 to the left. It's going to insert 12 of them. I'm now going to highlight those 12 it just inserted, and I'm going to paste. And that should paste your borders again. I'm now going to highlight all of those, which should now be 24. When I right click, I should be able to insert 24 columns. And again, I should be able to then paste the formatting, which pastes it on both. To do that one last time, highlighting all of those, right click, insert 48 columns, and again, paste my formatting. You'll now notice that it goes off the page. So what I can do is on my view, turn it to 50%. And that way I can see all 8 foot by 1 foot. Now as we know, this is not what a sheet of plywood is. Sheet of plywood would be then 4 more rows, or 4 foot by 8 foot. So I've got the 8 foot showing. I'm now going to actually, if I right click here, should be able to insert 12 rows and paste, insert 12 rows and paste, and insert 12 rows again and paste. This is my entire entire sheet of plywood. Now if I want to, I can also highlight this and copy it. I'm then going to go about 2 rows below, click in the first cell and hit paste. So I should have essentially 2 sheets of plywood worth of my squares. These will help me to plan out where I'm going to cut my plywood pieces out of. Now while I've done this, and before I start actually coloring areas to use them for my 1/4 inch plywood, I'm going to right click where it says 1/4 inch plywood. I'm going to duplicate the sheet, and the new one I'm going to change the name of to be 3/4 inch plywood so I don't have to go through those same steps again. I won't take you through the entire process. You can see the completed one in the example spreadsheet, but the basic idea is now I look at my cut list, which yes is also half scale. This is kind of annoying to have to switch back and forth, but I'll blow this back up. And I can see that I need in my 1/4 inch plywood 72, which is 6 feet, by 24, which is 2 feet, and I need 2 of those. So if I go to my 1/4 inch plywood sheet, put it back at 50%, I can highlight a 6 foot by 2 foot piece by doing this. I'm highlight exactly those rows, and I'm going to go to the fill tab right here and fill those in a reddish color. I need 2 of those, which I should be able to cut side by side. So I'm going to highlight that again. This time when I do the fill color, I'm going to pick a bluish color. Those would be the 2 pieces that I would cut out of there. Now as I look back at my cut list and enlarge it, that takes care of the first ones. By the way, I'll have mine listed in size order. My next ones, I will need 2 that are 35 by 24. When I look at, go smaller, go back here, I don't have enough space to do 35 by 24, but I can come down to this sheet and do 35 and a half. Sorry, that'll be 36 because I'll round up by 24 right there. And I'm going to pick a color. This time it'll be a green. And I did that twice. So I'm going to cut those 2 out of this board using those areas here. Now we'll do an orange. I'm not quite all done because I do have a few more pieces to cut. I will keep going back and forth and highlighting and blocking off. And basically, I don't want any of these colored areas to overlap each other. This will help me figure out, which I already kind of did, that I know I will need 2 sheets of my 1/4 inch plywood. That'll help me as I go to create my costing sheet. The other thing I can do is in my 3/4 inch plywood sheet, I'll do the same thing. I'll figure out that I needed a 71 and a half by 36, which essentially, again, I round up, and I would change the color of this here to, again, we'll go with the green. And then when I go back to my cut list, blow it up again. This is the only thing that's kind of annoying about this process. I have a 3 foot or 36 inch by 1 foot piece, so I'll have to cut those again. Now, some of you may have used different tools before, but we have what's called a table saw, meaning I could actually cut this all the way down and make this the right height overall. So I'm going to actually run my 1 foot by 3 foot pieces this way because I can do this cut all at once. So I'd make this one a yellow color, and I can make this one a blue color. It's also possible that I could have cut them out of this piece here, but like I said, since these are all the same height, I would actually make that cut once. I have no need, because I'm now out of 3/4 inch pieces, I have no need to use any off this second one. So I can, if it's confusing to you to have this down here, I can highlight this second sheet and hit, I'm sorry, it's better actually to highlight the rows. Hold Shift, come down here. Okay, and delete the rows. Just holding the wrong button. There we go. Right click, delete rows. So you can get it out of your way if you don't need it, because all I need is that 1 sheet. Between figuring out how many 2x4s I need, how much plywood I need of each type, I'm now ready to create my cost sheet, which will be in the next video.